Okay everyone, I've been working away on this stencil and just wanted to share a few tips and ideas with you. So first of all, the one thing that I do keep in mind is that idea that I mentioned in the last video of wabi-sabi, that I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to not always cut exactly on the line that I drew, and that's okay. So sometimes when I'm cutting like this is the side, of course, that has the drawing on it. I'll flip over and check my progress this way, okay? And I can see that this is actually reading fairly well. The flower comes through nicely, and that all my little bridges are working out and makes sense with the design. So that's always something to think about when we're planning bridges. Do so in a way that makes sense with the design. I also realized when I did this one really long cut here, that might be a little long for this, because on this side it kind of pops up a little bit. So if you notice something like that happening in your cutting, then just kind of pivot. So when I went for this next cut, I just made a little bridge right there. And then that keeps it setting down a little bit more flat for me, which will make it easier to print. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, so you can learn a little bit from my mistakes. So I got really excited with this and like, okay, the lotus plant and the lily pad leaf. Let's put some hatching marks in there to kind of show the differences in the sides, that I'm actually looking at one side of the leaf here and another side here. And you've probably used hatching in drawing class. So there's some hatching lines here, a series of parallel lines that help us to see value. The closer they get in, the darker the value reads. And you're probably already noticing some of my mistakes in here, right? Because remember, when we're planning out our stencils, we should be able to make our way completely through all the image with a line, following those bridges so that everything stays together. And of course, in through here that didn't. So I drew with Sharpie. Again, I just got excited. So what I'm actually going to do, since I can't erase this, is I'm just going to go in with the colored pencil and kind of adjust so that I'll know where to end these lines on both sides. Okay, so down here, and this is kind of great too, because then I can now adjust the length of those lines so that it becomes a little bit more dynamic. Okay, and then at that point, when I'm cutting, I'll just cut from here to here, and everything will stay intact, and I'll continue to have a stencil where I can get that solid line coming through everything. Okay, so this should be really helpful. Also, the other thing, I've been cutting for a while and I've changed my blade already. So remember, when you're cutting, if all of a sudden it's not going through, you're having to really bear down, or it seems like it's tearing rather than cleanly cutting, change your blade.